When the sun sets, everything turns to silhouette trees, stones, even our own bodies. In that moment, we can either fear the dark or look for the shapes it reveals. The Buddha taught, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. In your own night, where might you shine first?" A traveler stumbled into a cave, heart pounding. Inside, he struck a machanda saw walls covered in ancient carvings. The dark had hidden beauty, the Buddha said. Light comes when the mind is ready. What carvings lie unseen in your own caves? In a quiet room, a single candle flickers by fractured glass. Each shard reflections multiplies the flame-fractured light dancing on the walls. The Buddha smiled, just as a lamp lights many lamps. Wisdom shared multiplies. Who might you light up tonight? A blind monk sat beneath a lantern. He never saw its glow, yet he felt warmth on his face. The Buddha taught, true sight is inward. How does your inner eye perceive light that outer eyes cannot? At dawn, fog clings to the meadow, everything seems lost in grey. Then the sun's first ray slices through, and each droplet becomes a prism. The Buddha said, in every challenge is an opportunity for awakening. Where does your first ray break through the mist? He discovered an old lantern, its glass cracked but wick intact. Carefully, he cleaned the dust and lit it again. The Buddha taught, wherever you are is the entry point. Even broken glass cannot stop light. What lamp are you tending in your life's shadows? A child held out a handful of fireflies, their glow tiny yet insistent. Even a little light dispels much darkness, the Buddha said. When night feels overwhelming, do you look for the smallest spark, or curse the dark? On a rainy evening, puddles reflected street lamps like scattered stars. Reflect the light, the Buddha urged. If you mirror wisdom in troubled waters, what constellations might you reveal? He traced a finger across a skylight, letting a single shaft of sunlight land on his palm. Concentration brings clarity, the sutras declare. Where do you focus your inner sunbeam when shadows crowd your mind? A single flower bloomed in an abandoned sheds, darkness silent, unexpected. All that we are is the result of what we have thought, the Buddha taught. When your mind is fertile, even darkness can birth beauty. What blossoms lurk in the soil of your obscured thoughts? In a deserted temple, a lone bell rang, no hand struck it, yet its echo filled the hall. Sound the bell of mindfulness, the Buddha taught. If your own presence could toll once, what resonance would it leave behind? He entered a room without windows, save for a narrow slit high in the wall. Through it, a slender ray of light cut the darkness. The light of wisdom shines from within, Scripture says. In which hidden corner will you crack open your own wall? He sat by a hearth, watching embers glow against cold stones. Your mind is a lamp, make it bright, taught the Buddha. In what corner of your being do you need to stoke the embers of awareness? A paper lantern hung under a silent eave. No breeze stirred yet, its light danced. In stillness shines the jewel, the sutras remind us. What jewels lie waiting in the silent eaves of your own heart? At dawn, the night's shadows fled, but their shapes remained etched on the horizon. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it, the Buddha taught. Where do you still see the imprint of darkness, even as new light rises? In a moonlit grove, he found a pool so still it felt like glass. When he tossed a pebble, the ripples vanished almost instantly. The Buddha taught, mindfulness is the path to the deathless. In the quiet eddies of your mind, what ripples remain unobserved? He discovered a tattered prayer flag, its colors faded by wind and sun. yet each flutter carried its mantra skyward. The Buddha said, "What you send out returns. What silent blessings might you release today?" A hidden lantern hung behind vines, its light barely seen. He brushed the leaves away, and suddenly the path ahead glowed. The Buddha taught, awakening comes when ignorance is cleared. Which veils do you need to draw back to reveal your inner light? He met a blindfolded traveler who walked confidently by sound alone. "How do you move without sight?" he asked. The traveler replied, "I listen with my whole being." The Buddha said, "The eye of knowledge is the eye of mindfulness. Are you truly listening?" In an abandoned chapel, he found candles unlit and dust-laden. He struck a match, one flame led to many. The Buddha taught, share your light without fear of loss. In what darkened corners will you kindle hope? A pane of stained glass fractured the morning sun into colored shards on the floor. Each fragment shone differently. The Buddha said, truth appears in many hues. Which colors of insight are you neglecting? He followed moths drawn to a single flame, then realized they risked all to touch it. Why chase danger? He wondered. The Buddha cautioned, craving binds us in fire. What illusions do you pursue at the cost of freedom? He paused beneath an old banyan tree, its roots tangled like knotted thoughts. The Buddha said, uproot delusion by truth. Which tangled beliefs need straightening in your own mind? In the dim courtyard, lotus blossoms glowed on dark water. They rose unsullied from the mud. The Buddha taught, rise above defilement. Where in your life can beauty emerge from difficulty? He found two mirrors facing each other, creating endless reflections. It was dizzying, but he focused on the first image. The Buddha said, hold to the one. What singular truth do you choose amid infinite distractions? A solitary torch burned at a temple entrance long after dusk. He realized its light was for those still coming. Be a beacon, the Buddha urged. Who are you guiding with your own flame? In a silent garden, stone lanterns lined a winding path. They awaited visitors. He lit the first and watched hope spread. The Buddha smiled. First light dispels all fear. Which first step toward clarity will you take tonight? Above him, stars winked with ancient light. He felt small and vast. The Buddha said, all things share the same thread of light. How does your existence connect to the cosmos? At twilight's edge, a glowworm's lamp shone in the grass, guiding him to camp. Listen to every light, Buddha taught. What subtle guides do you ignore in your journey? As dawn broke, he saw not just one sun, but the light he carried within. The Buddha taught, your own heart is the brightest star. In your own dawn, will you follow the sun or become it?